The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Thelix of the Convergence rose to address the assembly. His crystalline form refracted the chamber's ambient light into 1,000 worried colors. "Esteemed members," his voice resonated. "Through translation nodes, we must discuss the human question." A ripple of unease passed through the gathered representatives. 47 species, some ancient beyond measure, shifted in their seats. The humans had been spacefaring for barely 3 centuries, yet their name carried weight that made civilizations millions of years old uncomfortable. "They've done it again," Thelix continued, displaying a holographic star chart. A section glowed red, the terminus sector. Another incursion into forbidden space. Another impossibility achieved. Commander Vexenar of the Crithian Empire clicked his mandibles in agitation. "We warned them. The terminus sector has been quarantined for 2 million years. The radiation alone should have disintegrated their ships." "Should have," Thelix agreed grimly. "Their vessel, the Wanderer's Folly, not only survived but returned with samples." The chamber erupted. Species that communicated through bioluminescence flashed in distress. Those who expressed emotion through scent released pheromones of disbelief. The few that still used audible speech shouted over one another. Elder Jerem, oldest member of the council, raised a tendril for silence. Her species had watched galaxies collide and reform. She had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations. When she spoke, even time seemed to listen. "Tell us, Ambassador. What did they find in the terminus?" Thelix hesitated. "They found the void engines." The silence that followed was absolute. The void engines' weapons so terrible that the ancients had hidden them in lethal radiation, behind spatial anomalies, guarded by automated defenses that had obliterated probe after probe for eons. "Impossible," Vexenar whispered. "The path requires navigating 17 separate quantum mazes while under bombardment. We lost our best pilots attempting it." "The humans didn't use pilots," Thelix said quietly. "They used something they call creative problem-solving. They turned their ship into a giant Faraday cage, flew through the radiation backwards using gravitational echoes, and sent in salvage drones controlled by children playing what they called video games." Elder Jerem's ancient eyes fixed on the hologram. "Children. Apparently, their young possess reflexes and spatial awareness that surpass our military computers. They call it practice. They've been playing simulation games for entertainment." A Brevian diplomat, all 6 of his mouths speaking in harmony, asked the question everyone feared. "Did they activate the engines?" "No," Thelix said. "They studied them, documented them, and left them in place, but they did leave a note." The hologram shifted, displaying crude human text. "Thanks for the challenge. Would love to discuss applications for peaceful energy production. Call us. Humanity." Vexenar slammed his carapace against his seat. "Peaceful applications. Those are weapons of extinction." "That's what makes them terrifying," Elder Jerem said softly. "We see weapons. They see problems to solve. We see certain death. They see interesting challenges. We erected barriers. They invented new games." She paused, her ancient memory reaching back through the ages. "Do you know why human territory is forbidden in our protocols? Why we keep them at arm's length despite their repeated attempts at friendship?" The assembly waited. "Because I have seen this pattern before. 3 billion years ago, there was another species. They called themselves the Architects. They, too, saw every obstacle as an invitation. They, too, turned impossibilities into adventures. They grew. So powerful, so rapidly, that the universe itself became their playground. And then," she trailed off, "what happened to them?" A young diplomat asked. "They transcended. Became something we cannot follow. Left this dimension entirely, leaving only their impossible artifacts behind. The void engines were their kindergarten toys." The weight of her words settled over the chamber like a shroud. "The humans have been space-capable for 3 centuries, Elder Jerem continued. "In that time, they've bypassed our safeguards, solved our unsolvable puzzles, survived our deadliest environments, and made friends with species we deemed incompatible with civilized life. They do all this with laughter, curiosity, and something they call stubborn determination. She turned her full attention to the assembly. We label their territory forbidden not to protect us from them, but to protect them from us. Every civilization here has tried to control them, contain them, or challenge them to prove their inferiority. Every civilization has failed. What do you propose? Thelix asked. We do what we should have done from the beginning. We learn from them. We stop seeing them as a problem to be managed and start seeing them as the universe's reminder that evolution isn't finished, that potential isn't fixed, and that sometimes the youngest species carries the oldest spark. Vexinar stood abruptly. You're suggesting we invite them to the council? Give them full access to our technology, our knowledge? Elder Jeremy's laugh was like wind through ancient trees. Commander, they already have access. They've been reverse engineering our technology from sensor sweeps and making improvements. The real question is, will we accept their invitation? They've been calling us for 3 centuries. Perhaps it's time we answered. The vote, when it came, was unanimous. Not from consensus, but from the dawning realization that the Forbidden's territory wasn't the space humans occupied, it was the vast frontier of possibility they represented, a place where ancient species feared to tread, but which humanity called home. As the council adjourned, Elder Jerim gazed at the stars and smiled. The cosmos quaked not from human weapons, but from human wonder, and that, she knew, was infinitely more powerful.